Namaskaram. When we speak of health, most people think of diet, exercise, and maybe a few medical checkups. But let me ask you, have you ever paid attention to the one thing that keeps you alive every moment? Something so fundamental, yet so neglected? Your breath. Health is not just about the body, it is about how life happens within you. The way you breathe determines the way you live. If your breath is shallow, your experience of life will also be shallow. If your breath is chaotic, your mind will be restless. If you learn to breathe consciously, your whole being transforms. Look at a newborn child. Its breath moves like a gentle wave, deep and full. But as we grow, stress, emotions, and unconscious living make our breath shallow and erratic. What does this mean? It means we are slowly strangling our own life force without even realizing it. The quality of your breath decides the quality of your body, mind, and emotion. The ancient yogic sciences understood this thousands of years ago. They knew that by mastering the breath, you can master your mind, bring balance to your emotions, and even influence your body's chemistry. Right now, if you observe, your breath changes with every emotion. When you are angry, it becomes aggressive. When you are peaceful, it slows down. But what if you could reverse this process? What if instead of your emotions controlling your breath, you use your breath to control your emotions? This is not philosophy, it is a simple science. Every inhalation is an opportunity to take in life fully, and every exhalation is a chance to let go of what no longer serves you. But most people are barely breathing, suffocating under the weight of unconscious living. If you take just a few minutes a day to breathe with awareness, you will see your stress dissolving, your mind clearing, and your energy soaring. This is not magic. This is the most basic investment you can make in your own life. Breath is the foundation of life. If you observe closely, the very first thing you did when you entered this world was inhale. The very last thing you will do before leaving this body is exhale. Everything that happens in between is just life unfolding. Yet for most people, breath is an afterthought. They pay attention to their diet, their workouts, their sleep, but almost never to the one process that sustains them every moment. You can survive for weeks without food, days without water, but without breath, just a few minutes. That alone should tell you where your priority should be. Breathing is not just about taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. It is the process through which life enters you. In the yogic sciences, breath is not just air, it is a vehicle for prana, the fundamental life energy that animates everything. Every inhalation is an opportunity to nourish the body, and every exhalation is a chance to cleanse it. But most people have forgotten how to breathe properly. Their breaths are shallow, irregular, and unconscious, robbing them of vitality. If you look at a baby, you will see its entire body moving with the breath, soft, deep, and rhythmic. But as people grow, stress, emotions, and improper living patterns make their breathing erratic and constricted. By the time they reach adulthood, many people are only using a fraction of their lung capacity. This not only reduces oxygen supply but also weakens the body's energy systems. What should have been an effortless and nourishing process becomes mechanical, barely keeping them alive. Science now confirms what the yogis have known for millennia. The way you breathe impacts every aspect of your health. Shallow breathing is linked to anxiety, fatigue, poor digestion, and even cardiovascular problems. When you do not breathe properly, your nervous system stays in a state of tension, your immune function declines, and your body remains in survival mode. On the other hand, deep and conscious breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation, healing, and balance. Another crucial aspect is how breath and emotions are interwoven. Observe yourself. When you are angry, your breath becomes fast and forceful. When you are anxious, it turns short and uneven. When you are relaxed, it slows down naturally. But this is not a one-way process. Just as emotions shape your breath, Your breath can shape your emotions. If you learn to regulate your breathing, you can bring stability to your thoughts and emotions no matter what is happening around you. In ancient yogic traditions, breath was never seen as separate from the mind and body. They understood that the breath is a bridge between the physical and the subtle. By consciously altering your breathing patterns, you can influence not only your energy levels, but also your mental clarity and emotional well-being. This is why practices like pranayama were developed not just as breathing exercises, but as a way to harness life itself. Even today, most people are living as if breath is just an automatic process, something they need not bother about. But this very ignorance is costing them their well-being. They spend thousands on medications, therapies and supplements, searching for balance. Yet the most powerful tool for transformation is right under their nose, literally. A few minutes of conscious breathing every day can create a profound shift in how one experiences life. If you take a moment to truly observe, breath is not just about survival. It is about how fully you are willing to engage with life. Are you barely breathing, just existing? Or are you breathing deeply, embracing life in its totality? Every breath is an invitation to experience life more intensely, more consciously. It is not just about air, it is about the very essence of life itself. Shallow breathing leads to a shallow experience of life. Breath is not just a mechanical function, it is the rhythm of life itself. The way you breathe determines the way you experience the world around you. If your breath is deep and full, your life will feel rich, vibrant and balanced. If your breath is shallow and irregular, your experience of life will also be fragmented, restless and incomplete. Yet most people today are breathing in a way that limits not just their physical well-being but also their mental clarity and emotional depth. They are living on the surface, unaware that their breath is the key to unlocking a deeper experience of life. Shallow breathing means that you are only using the upper part of your lungs, taking in small, insufficient amounts of air. This kind of breathing keeps your body and mind in a constant state of tension. When you do not breathe deeply, your nervous system remains on high alert, triggering stress hormones and keeping your body in a survival mode. This is why many people feel anxious, restless and fatigued without understanding why. Their breath is not nourishing them, it is merely keeping them alive at the most basic level. If you observe closely, the people who seem most stressed, impatient or irritated often have a very shallow breathing pattern. Their breath is fast, erratic and confined to the chest. This kind of breathing keeps them trapped in a state of reactivity, where even small disturbances in life seem overwhelming. On the other hand, those who breathe deeply and fully tend to remain calm, composed and resilient. Even in challenging situations, their breath gives them stability. Science now confirms that shallow breathing affects oxygen supply to the brain, making it harder to focus, think clearly, and make balanced decisions. When your breath is incomplete, your thoughts also become scattered. You may find yourself overthinking, feeling restless, or struggling with emotional ups and downs. This is not just a psychological issue. It is directly connected to how you are breathing. Deep breath brings stability to the mind, while shallow breath keeps it in a state of chaos. Shallow breathing also has a profound effect on your energy levels. The less oxygen your body receives, the more tired and drained you will feel throughout the day. People often complain of fatigue, but they rarely consider that their breath might be the cause. Instead of searching for external stimulants like caffeine or energy drinks, simply changing the way you breathe can help you feel naturally energized and alive. Breath is the original source of vitality. If you use it properly, you won't need artificial boosts. Another overlooked aspect of shallow breathing is its effect on emotions. Emotions are not just random occurrences. They are deeply linked to the way you breathe. Have you noticed how your breath changes when you are sad, angry or afraid? If you continue to breathe in a shallow manner, negative emotions stay trapped in your system, accumulating over time. This is why people who do not breathe deeply often carry a sense of heaviness, anxiety, or unexplained sadness. Their breath is not allowing them to release what they no longer need. In ancient yogic traditions, breath was never treated as separate from the mind and emotion. It was understood that when you breathe deeply and consciously, you are not just taking in oxygen, you are taking in life itself. A full breath allows you to engage with life wholeheartedly without hesitation or fear. But a shallow breath keeps you disconnected, always holding back, never fully experiencing the depth and beauty of life. This is why mastering the breath is not just about health. It is about how intensely you wish to live. If you want to know the quality of your life, just observe the quality of your breath. Are you breathing fully, taking in life with every inhalation, or are you breathing in a hesitant, incomplete manner, never fully embracing what is possible? Your breath reflects your state of being. If you change the way you breathe, you will change the way you live. Breath and emotions are deeply connected. If you observe yourself closely, you will notice that your breathing pattern changes with every emotion you experience. When you are angry, your breath becomes fast and forceful. When you are anxious, it becomes short and erratic. When you are calm, it slows down naturally. This connection between breath and emotion is not just a coincidence. It is a fundamental aspect of how your mind and body function together. Your breath and emotions are deeply intertwined, influencing each other every moment of your life. Most people believe that emotions happen randomly, that they have no control over how they feel. But if you pay attention, you will see that emotions are not isolated events. They are deeply linked to the rhythm of your breath. Just as your breath changes with your emotions, you can also use your breath to change your emotions. If your breath is unsteady, your emotions will be unstable. If your breath is deep and balanced, your emotions will naturally become more harmonious. When you are afraid, your breath becomes shallow and rapid. This is because your body is preparing for a fight or flight response, a survival mechanism that has been part of human evolution for thousands of years. But in modern life, many people stay in this state of shallow, anxious breathing all the time. They are not running from wild animals, but their breath tells their body that they are always in danger. As a result, they live in a constant state of stress, worry, and fear, even when there is no real threat around them. On the other hand, when you are in a state of joy, your breath naturally becomes slow and deep. You don't have to make an effort, it just happens. This means that breath is not just a physical process, it is an emotional and energetic process as well. If joy, peace, and clarity are accompanied by a deep and rhythmic breath, then the reverse is also true. By consciously breathing in a deep and rhythmic manner, you can create a joyful and peaceful state within yourself. This is why ancient yogic traditions place so much importance on breath control, or pranayama. So they understood that breath is not just about survival, it is a tool to regulate emotions, expand awareness, and bring stability to one's inner world. If you learn to breathe consciously, you will no longer be a slave to your emotions. Instead of being thrown around by every small situation in life, you will gain mastery over your own reactions. You will move from being reactive to being responsive.